To our Wellness Wednesday Health Show. I'm your host, Dr. Kala Hewlett from the Back Pain and Joint Center of Texas, where we offer chronic pain solutions to help you enjoy pain-free living. And today, as we embark on the holiday season, we have a very, very special guest with us today. Now, before I introduce our guest, a little bit about her. She's been featured on Fox News, CBS, The Today Show, and many, many other TV shows across the nation. She's the author of 3 different books, has been a contributing editor on multiple publications, including Cosmo, Red Book, 17, and many, many others. And you can find her twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays on our very own Fox Houston 26. I'd like to welcome to our show today, renowned psychotherapist, Mary Jo Rapini. Mary Jo, welcome to our show today.
Thank you so much. I'm excited.
Now, Mary Jo, as we are rolling into this holiday season, we'd like to talk about healthy relationships. And over the past year and a half, I feel in my adult life, I can't remember a time where there's been so many polarizing topics. And with social media these days, I feel like it's in everybody's face. And we have patients that feel strongly about either mask or no mask, vaccines, no vaccines, this political party, that political party. And we've talked to our patients and in our community, and some of them are a little bit worried about when I get together for Thanksgiving or Christmas, gosh, how do I sit across a table from a family member or a dear friend who I know has a strong, different opinion than me? So let's tackle that first.
That's a big one to tackle. It's on a lot of people's minds. And, the holidays are always stressful. I think anyway, people are sharing their homes, they're not sleeping as well, they're eating more, and all those things contribute to our stress and just the anticipation of the holidays. But I think for my clients and anyone that I'm speaking with this year, I'm making this my holiday of inclusion. What do I mean by that? I mean, I'm going to make it about connecting, because our bodies, both physically and mentally, we need to connect. And if I think about connection, I don't think about all the things with COVID and who did what and, who is this and who is that. I think more, what is everybody doing? How is this family growing? What are the grandkids doing? What subjects do they like in school? Do they like their teacher? What are their hobbies? Are they in Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts? What's going on and how can you nurture that? And then, who's suffering in the family? Who's struggling? Can you be patient? Can you offer an ear? Who's it time to admire or praise in the family? Who has worked really hard this year to accomplish a goal and they finally did it? Congratulations, can you make a note of that? Because many times things happen in the family that the family is unaware of. And so the newspaper, the TV, everybody else is congratulating this person, but the people that are closest to them don't even know it's happening. How can you be an instrument of healing in the family? And you may say, well, I can't. I'm just one person, or I'm old, or I'm sick, and I can't drive. You don't need to have any of those things to be a helper or instrumental in being someone who boosts self-esteem within the family. I tell people all the time, Dr. Hewlett, no family's perfect. We all have our area of dysfunction. And if you focus on the dysfunction, you will find it. But if you focus on connection, you're going to find that too. And that's a lot healthier, both mentally and physically for you.
Oh, I love that. Make this year the holiday of connection. In my mind, I call it the flashlight principle. I was a Boy Scout growing up and enjoyed camping and camp with my sons. And when it's dark out, wherever the flashlight goes, that's where our attention is. That's where our focus is. And if our attention's on all these things we disagree on, well, that's what we're going to talk about. But as we put the flashlight, our attention on the relationship, the individual, we'll focus our energy and attention on there. Gosh, I love that. The holiday of connection. If you guys are taking notes, please write that down. Make this the holiday of connection. And if we spend as much time learning about our friends and loved ones and what's important to them as we did, perhaps listening to some of the social media and negativity out there, gosh, how much better. Now, another question, kind of follow up to that, Mary Jo. How do we not let the decisions of others negatively impact our health. I know that can be hard at times because, you know, I call it, some people in my mind are like leaves blown in the wind. Their emotional state, their happiness is so dependent on what everybody else thinks of them or what they're subject to that day. So they really have little control over their emotions, and they're just a wreck as a result. How do we reduce or not allow those decisions of our family and loved ones to negatively impact us so hard?
Wow, that's a really good question. You know, I did a segment on Fox about this very topic because what we found out is really nice people, people who want to create harmony and want to generate peace. Basically, what happens is they sometimes go overboard with that. And when you go overboard with that, you become a pleaser. You start responding in the way they want you to, because you're trying so hard to please them, to make a peace. But you have to be careful with that, because when you become only a reactor or a responder, you stop thinking. Everything's automatic. And this anger that's built up is in the oldest part of our brain. And so it's, you know, they say whatever you learned as a child, it just keeps digging deeper and deeper into the creases of your brain. Well, that's how our anger is. It's in this area, the amygdala, that is like primitive. So if you start thinking with that primitive brain, or that they call it reptile brain, you can react with anger that really doesn't even belong to you. It was instigated by somebody else, and you've just become a puppet for them. So when someone says something, or you find yourself in a situation where somebody's mad and you go, man, I'm mad too, and you react, or somebody cut you off in traffic, man, that makes me mad, and you react by doing something that could potentially hurt you and a loved one in the car, you want to stop yourself. You want to give yourself a place to pause. The pause is what's important. Within that pause, you breathe and you kind of calm that heart rate down, and you think, okay, is this going to matter in a year's time? Most of the time, we're going to say no. If it's not going to matter, then you have to own your power, and you don't react. You say, you know what? I don't need to react to this. This is not my baggage. This is someone else who did something that wasn't kind or wasn't thoughtful, but I don't have to react by putting myself in harm's way or somebody I love. At the end of the day, it's not going to prove anything except you like picking up and reacting to other people's garbage, which if we were all asked that question, we'd say no. Everybody picks up their own garbage. Like, I'm not picking up yours. Then stop reacting to things that are not within your control. We can't control other people. It's just the bottom line, you know?
Gosh, that is so powerful, Mary Jo. It's
I think, you know, I because I've thought a lot about this, because so many people, Dr. Hewlett, are so angry now. And you see it on social media. You see it just in rude comments people say. It's almost like they're not thinking. And I think that's exactly what it is. We become so accustomed to just responding. We haven't given ourselves permission to pause. And it's within the pause that makes us human, because we think, we calm down and we think, okay, what's going to be in my best interest and the people I love? It's usually to behave rationally and to try to get along, try to work with others. It's not doing something that is going to just perpetuate an already angry situation.
Gosh, that pause is so powerful. You know,
Yes.
I was talking with some friends the other day, and they were like, gosh, you know, this person, they like, she always seems so angry and bitter and isolated, and kind of like, I guess we'll just leave her alone. Well, then as we started talking, we learned more about her backstory, that she had some pretty tragic experiences in the past. And all of a sudden, because we knew that information, it changed from, oh, she's standoffish, to, oh my gosh, we need to be more compassionate, reach out to her. So
Yes.
often we don't know the story, but it's funny that when we do know the background story, oftentimes that pause, that moment to think, makes us realize, yes, this is a human as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so
well, we don't listen to people's stories because we're in our own pain, or we're in our own stories. We become so self-focused. And I love what you said, because part of a better life, being happier, is getting out of your thought, your circle, and encouraging others to come into us. I mean, I don't care if you follow the Bible, the Torah, or whatever you read, the Quran. There's information in all those about how important inclusion is, connection, allowing others into our life to share their story. And if we just cut that off, and we never know why they act the way they do, doesn't mean the way they act is okay, but it just gives us a different perspective of, okay, now I get a little bit more why you're that way. What can I do to help that situation? And like you said, her story made your reaction different.
You said the C word again, connection. And as you were saying that, I thought the most happiest times of my life are with other people. It's never just me in that. It's
Right.
with my wife, or with my children, or my parents, or extended family and friends. So so many people are looking for happiness. Right? So many people are trying to find, what's the secret? What's the new trick? What's the new shiny object to make me happy? What would be your best advice for someone right now who is a little bit down on themselves and looking for happiness?
What I would say is the first thing you have to do, you have to stop comparing yourself. Take social media breaks and get away from that, because as a mental health counselor, I can tell you, social media is changing your brain chemistry. It's making you more negative. It's making you weaker, because you're starting to rely more on other people's approval rather than just putting yourself out there as authentic and real. The next thing I would say is not only connect with others, start inviting others. Invite somebody you don't know well to something. Offer to take people with you to church when you go. They don't have to like it. It's just an offer. And if they say, well, no, I don't really do that, offer to go to brunch or lunch with them after. Start putting yourself in a position where you can be rejected. That is a place of power, because once you start doing that, once you start asking others or inviting others, you will start seeing people change toward you. And within that change, you'll start liking yourself more. Many people who are angry, who are bitter, who aren't happy and want to be happy, the biggest reason they're not is they're only looking at themselves through their own eyes, and they're feeding themselves back that isolation, that loneliness. If people really knew me, they wouldn't like me. When you put yourself out there, whether it's serving others, sacrificing a little bit for somebody else, doing something for someone that really wasn't in your planned day schedule, I can tell you things will start changing in a way you can never, ever expect.
Mary Jo, you have just given a phenomenal recipe for us to follow through this holiday season and beyond, really just throughout our life. You talked about human connection, serving, inviting, helping others, really not just being so me-centric, and stepping away from social media and the comparisons. And social media is a tool, and like all tools, they can be used for wonderful things, and they can also be used to destroy. And so I really
like that, Dr. Hewlett, because we would never be able to do this if it weren't for social media. We'd be able to maybe do it via Zoom, but we wouldn't be able to share it. So it's important that you start sharing and promoting good stuff, positive things, rather than when somebody gets on and they hate a side or they encourage you to be polarized. That is an automatic sign that they are trying to exclude. You don't want to be around or support people that are going to exclude others. The minute you have to exclude somebody else, something is wrong with the foundation of your company.
As someone once told me, they said, are you using social media, or is social media using you?
I love that.
And from what I hear, when I heard you just make that comment, I thought, gosh, we should be using social media to connect with others, to
Yes.
congratulate others on their success, to share positive messages of hope, whether it's things in our personal life or sharing a message that someone passed along. Gosh, another pearl of wisdom. Mary Jo, I know your time is valuable and you're very busy. Thank you for making some time today. Do you have any final words of wisdom you'd like to share with our audience today?
Well, I do just want to say that I have a YouTube channel. It's Mary Jo Rapini on YouTube. The actual channel is called Reaction Reset. If you just put my name in, MaryJoRapini, you'll find it. And I teach like 5-minute segments, 5 to 10 minutes segments of relationship issues. I'm a relationship psychologist, so that's what I know. They're completely free. There's nothing you have to do. If you want to subscribe, you can. You don't have to though. But I think that's a wonderful tool that you can actually watch the video. You can watch it with your partner, and maybe the two of you can come up with a better way to relate. Healthy relationships are vital in producing healthy families, healthy schools, healthy communities, and a healthy world.
Thank you, Mary Jo. And we'll put a link. So all you have to do is click the link below. It'll take you directly to her YouTube channel. And that way you can connect.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Hewlett. That'll be really helpful.
You are very, very welcome. Also, remember to catch Mary Jo on Mondays and Thursdays on Fox News 26, I believe on the morning segment, correct?
It's the 9 a.m. hour. Yeah, I never know what time in 9, but until that morning. So it's in the 9 a.m. hour.
Wonderful.
Yeah, on Monday, I'm talking about feeling schlubby.
Okay, feeling schlubby. Wonderful. You guys stay connected. Mary Jo has given us some wonderful information. Connect with her on YouTube. Please, as we enter this holiday season, let's make it a time of connection, of building, of happiness, and let us be the epicenter. I call that the first domino. Let that be a start with us and our sphere of influence. Again, Mary Jo, thank you. As always, we wish you guys the best in health and wellness. A message for all of our patients out there. As a reminder, we now have new Medicare covered treatments for back and joint pain to help avoid surgery. So if you're Medicare age, or if you have someone in your life who is Medicare age, please have them reach out to our clinic. We'd love to help them get out of pain and enjoy pain-free living once again. As always, wish you all the best in health, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.